Hi, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm buri, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the exhaustion of being human, as well as other things in relation to people, more specifically why I don't really like people and why I get fed up with people. So as you can see, I'm in my bedroom on a Monday afternoon because I'm not working today and I'm not working tomorrow. So cheers to that. So without further ado, let's begin. So have you ever had times where you felt exhausted, like the soul has been sucked right out of your body? Because let me tell you something, for the past few months I've honestly felt this way. I really have. So I don't know what it is, but lately I found that I've been having a mix of, let's just say, an existential crisis and also depression, because sometimes there are moments where I tend to question what the point of life is. It's not to say I'm going to harm myself or anything like that. I just kind of like to reflect on certain things, and I notice I've been doing that a lot lately, especially yesterday. So yesterday, right, I went into a sensory tank for the very first time in my entire life. And I wanted to try this because I felt like doing some sort of therapy and I wanted to see if it relaxed me enough. Now, the only thing I didn't like was the fact that the Epsom salts got into my hair, because when you go in the tank, it's a mix of water and Epsom salts. So basically, you're just laying in there with some calming music and lights, and then after 5 minutes they go off and you're in complete total silence and darkness. And when I was in this tank, right, I almost felt like I was sort of ascending to the afterlife, and I felt that I was at a stage where I started to reflect more, and I felt very relaxed because it was almost as if everything that made me feel the way I did was just being taken right out of my body, if that makes sense. I'm really sorry, I'm bad at explaining things because I'm not good at talking in front of a camera and I have autism, so I get really nervous. But anyway, I felt completely different when I came out of that tank. I felt very reflective, so to say. And I suppose during this particular moment, I started to think about everything, really. So in terms of being human, there are certain elements that are very exhausting. So for me, especially being an autistic individual, I find that the upkeep in general and life admin is just so exhausting, because the thing with the way I work is that I tend to burn out very easily. So when I'm doing certain tasks, even just getting out of bed, there's a part of me that just doesn't want to do any of it. I just sort of shut down completely. And it's even worse when I'm depressed, because the physical and mental energy in terms of doing basic things is just not there. So, you know, I work a full-time job, and sometimes I wonder how the hell I'm managing, because there are moments where I just shut down. I shut down completely, and I'm just thinking to myself, I don't want to do this, and I don't want to be here. And it's not just work, let alone the basic tasks of getting up, eating, getting dressed, that becomes exhausting. I notice as well that the older I get, the more I hate being around a lot of people. Now, I'm not saying I want to be a social recluse, because I do want to make friends and I do want to meet people. It's just because I've had past experiences where I've been let down so many times, especially by friends and family, I trust people a lot less. So I've had multiple friendships, especially during my secondary school years, where people have taken advantage of my kindness in some way. I mean, I had an ex-friend who I knew for 10 plus years, and I remember when she moved away to the US, she just changed completely and I could sense it. So she developed this sort of narcissistic behavior. And every time she had personal problems, I felt like I was playing the role of a therapist because she was sort of expecting me to tell her what to do with her life. And even if I was being honest and realistic, she didn't like that. And she would say I was being negative. And it really irritated me because, I would just think to myself, you are talking to me about your issues, but then you don't want the advice. And I would just think to myself, what's the point of any of this? I mean, even with family as well, I've had family let me down so many times because, if you haven't listened to my previous episodes of my podcast, then, I do have some episodes where I talk about my experience of dealing with toxic family members and why I'm no contact with a lot of family members. And I never really did anything to hurt people's feelings or anything like that, but I've always noticed, even as a child, that I was treated very poorly by a lot of my family members. I used to be verbally abused as a child, and, there were times where I would have people say that I'm stupid and ungrateful. I even had times where people would sort of, yell at me and reduce me to tears, even in my own home. Even once, as a 22-year-old, I had one of my so-called uncles, who was an alcoholic, call me a half-breed. And, I wish I was lying, but sadly I'm not. And I even had another uncle on my mum's side telling me to go fuck myself once. And this was when I was depressed about 4 years ago. So yes, I've had these things happen to me in my life, and things like this are why I am basically no contact with most family members besides my parents, my aunt, and my great-grandmother, who are the only people who have consistently been a part of my life. So, looking at family and things like that as well, I never really liked being around a lot of family members. I used to go to a lot of family functions as a child, and I never really belonged. No matter how hard I tried to fit in, I would never belong. I was just kind of like the one who was the odd one out. And it wasn't just me, even my mum, at least with her so-called side of the family, would feel that as well. So it's almost like we were the black sheep. I remember a few years ago, I went to my grandma's birthday on my mum's side, and I spent most of my time sitting on the balcony doing university coursework on my phone because none of my family members really, made the effort to talk to me or anything like that. And I was always the person putting in more effort. But I think what it is because there's this generational curse, it just carries on and on. So, it goes on to the grandchildren and everything. And my mum had to cut it off with me where her so-called family was concerned, because she didn't want me to have that continue, if that makes sense. But going back to my earlier point, I find that nowadays you can't really expect people to be there for you. People just let you down. And I find as well that there are many relationships that are very transactional. So, you have people who like to befriend you because they know that you have something that they can get. So let's just say you won £1 million in the lottery. All of a sudden, as soon as other people know, they will basically expect you to lend them money when they need it. And as soon as you don't have money anymore, they just get rid of you like a piece of trash. And this is why I say a lot of relationships are transactional because people just sort of take what they can get. They are like energy vampires, just sucking the life out of you until you've got nothing left to give. And this is why I don't really like being around a lot of people, because there are certain behaviors and mannerisms that really, really irritate me. And I noticed as well, I actually prefer being on my own. I don't know if it's to do with autism, but I noticed that throughout my life, I've always been a very introverted individual. So, you know, I've always preferred my own company. I still do now, especially because I work in a heavily social job, and I feel like a phone battery when I'm at work because my energy is just depleting a lot. And half the time I just think to myself, you know, I don't want to be here. I'd rather be somewhere else. I just don't want to fucking be here. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I get along with my colleagues. I've never really had a problem with them because I'm a person who I suppose is easy to get on with. But when certain vibes don't click well, I just don't really want to be around you. And I think that's how I am with people. Is nowadays, I become more selective of who I choose to be around, because I notice that you have so many people that are not as genuine as they claim to be. They just say it, but they don't show it. And I think that's why I sort of have to guard myself a lot, because I notice that you can't really, you know, trust a lot of people anymore. But I don't know, I just feel like the way things are in this world, there's certain forces that are at work. There's certain spiritual forces at work, and I don't like it. I don't know if there's like a political unrest. I don't really want to delve too much into politics, but there are certain things that I've noticed that have been happening, that have been normalized. So I'm sort of referring to crime, basically. It's becoming normalized, and it's almost as if we have to live in this world every day expecting one other thing to happen. And it just gets to a point where you just begin to think, when is this going to be enough? Because I mean, all I want to do is just get on with my life. I don't want people to give me problems. I don't want to give people problems. Sorry, I'm wearing lipstick, so it's a shimmery one. But to continue from where I left off, okay, that's a lot better. Sorry, my throat was dry. So again, to continue from where I left off, I don't want to cause problems for people. I don't want people to cause me problems. I just want to get on with my life. But sometimes you notice it's very difficult to do that, because there are so many people here that just radiate negative energy and they just spread it around. And I think that's why there's a political unrest in this world. And one thing I've noticed as well, especially where politics is concerned, is that you can't even express your opinion on anything without being attacked with vitriol anymore. So I am very aware that certain things I say might not sit well with people, and that's okay, because everyone is different and everybody is entitled to their opinion on anything. But all I'm going to say is I just find it really immature how people resort to, you know, attacking others online or physically attacking others because their beliefs on something don't align with their own. So basically, it's like if you don't do things that the majority approve of, everyone has a problem with you, at least where opinions are concerned. And it's just absolutely stupid. I mean, I could go on social media and say that I don't like blue cheese because it's too salty, and then I have a mob of people attacking me. And it just makes me think, what is going on with the world? And it's not just in relation to opinions, but I find that the more social media people use, the more immature people get. And I do want to do a video someday on why I've reduced social media. I mean, I have some accounts here and there. I just don't have much anymore, because not only is it too addictive, I just get really fed up of the way people are. It just makes me absolutely fed up. So that's why I mostly replace my social media by focusing on content creation and also creative things, because I mean, I'm doing resin art now. I'm gonna get back into painting, so I have a huge canvas where I'm gonna do a piece with some shells that I got on the beach back in Jamaica. I have a journal, so I mean, you know, speaking of social media, I do want to quickly mention as well that a lot of people pretty much present their entire life on there when there's no need to. And if you want to vent, just get a bloody journal and put what you want to put in there and close it, because that's what I do. But anyway, I'm not really sure if I have any more to say. I'm really shit at talking on a camera. This is why I don't think I'm really good at videos like this, but I don't know. My point is, I'm just sick and tired of being human at times, and I've contemplated going to the countryside because I just want to get out. I don't know. That's just how I feel. I'd rather go to the countryside because, I mean, I don't really have to deal with all this. So, I mean, I don't know. That, and I even have dreams where I'm sort of being taken to the afterlife. I don't know what it means, but I feel like there's a sign. So, that's pretty much the video. I hope you've enjoyed my slight rant, and I don't know if you enjoy videos like this. At least my hair looks decent today because I put rollers in, so, and I have glittery lipstick. I can show you the lipstick that I have, so if you just wait, I will show you. So this is lipstick I'm using today. Or is it lip gloss? I think it's lip gloss, I don't know. But I bought it from Kiko Milano and I liked the shimmeriness of it. And I have my chromey hair clips because they're cute. So thanks for tuning in. Enjoy your day, I guess. I'm gonna go eat something because I'm hungry.